Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Faculty of Arts Winter Welcome Day session. If you are a student entering the Faculty of Arts for winter term, you are in the right place. I hope you enjoyed your first sessions this morning. If you attended, I hope you've been able to refresh your coffee cup, and we're going to get started. My name is Amber Osterman. I do communications for the Faculty of Arts. I'm going to get the session started for us today. And I also want to let everybody become aware that we are recording this session. Before we begin, I would like to acknowledge that although we are together today virtually, the U of M campuses are located on the original lands of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the homeland of the Métis Nation. We respect the treaties that were made on these territories. We acknowledge the harms and mistakes of the past, and we dedicate ourselves to move forward in partnership with Indigenous communities in a spirit of reconciliation and collaboration. I'm now going to pass the microphone over to Div and Nina, two of our 4 art student ambassadors who are going to present the session.
Welcome. Hello, everyone. I'm so happy you guys are here today to attend this session. I'm Divjot Gurwal, and I'd just like to say that you've made the right choice by choosing Faculty of Arts. Today, we're going to give you some reminders for your first year as a student, and we'll take you through what Faculty of Arts has to offer for you, and introduce you to some great people. We'll give you some tips to help you get through your first year at the university.
Hello, everyone. I'm Ina Ragib. Welcome to the Faculty of Arts. I have some housekeeping items to cover before we start. If you have a question during the session, please use the Q&A function to ask it. We will open up a time for questions at the end of the session. We often find that many questions students have are usually answered during these presentations. So please hold on to your question to the end, and we'll go through them one by one. Throughout the presentation, I encourage you to take a screenshot of any of the slides you'd like. We have some with web addresses listed that you might like to refer to later. Also, remember, we are recording the session, and it will be available in a few days on umanitoba.ca or on our Faculty of Arts YouTube channel if you'd like to go back and refer to anything a second time. So what is arts all about? Well, first we can tell you that you have chosen a popular place. Arts is one of the largest faculties on campus with over 4,700 undergraduate students and about 500 graduate students and 26 different areas of study.
Beyond the classroom, there are many things students can get involved in. Each of you are sure to find something that interests you. We have 4 departments that offer co-op programs and numerous travel and exchange opportunities, which obviously will be available once everything opens up again. There are so many student groups to join, student governments, positions, and research opportunities are there for you. But before we get into all of that, into all of this information, I'd like you to introduce to you the Dean of the Faculty of Arts, Dr. Jeff Taylor.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome, students. My name is, as indicated, my name is Jeff Taylor. I'm the Dean of Arts. I've been the Dean here for the last 9 years, since 2011. I was also a student at the University of Manitoba, starting out as an undergraduate student. I'm also currently a history professor, and I specialize in Canadian labor history. When I look back, it's been many years since I had my first day on, which was on campus, on the real campus at the University of Manitoba, as a first-year art student. And what I remember actually is, I don't really remember the first day, but what I remember of that first term at least is you know, feeling quite overwhelmed. I came from a small rural community in Manitoba, went to a small elementary school and a small high school. And when I came to the University of Manitoba, I was, wow, what is this place? So I was quite overwhelmed. And to tell you the truth, I wasn't particularly successful in that first year. But after I found my feet, I did well, and ended up as the dean. So I must have done something right. But what got me going actually, after I didn't do so well that first year, I came back and I made sure that I connected with the advisors in the dean's office, the Dean of Arts office. I took advantage of the Academic Learning Center and learned some study skills and how to use the library and all those sorts of things. And so the lessons that I learned from that, and I would pass on to you, is just make use of all of the resources that are available to you, because there's lots of them. You'll be learning today, and perhaps have learned already a bit about those, but really make use of those and build connections with the arts advising office early, because they are a crucial resource in making your way through your undergraduate degree. So what's involved in an arts education? Well, in your time with us, you'll be taking courses in what are traditionally referred to as the liberal arts. The goals of a liberal arts education are to provide students with an education in the humanities and the social sciences, while at the same time preparing you for a future career. An arts education will provide you with many things that will then carry you throughout your career and your life. It'll help you to broaden your mind, teach you how to gather facts, interpret information, and make informed decisions, and help you to learn different viewpoints. Now, our courses are split into three broad primary areas. There's humanities, social sciences, and interdisciplinary studies. Now, you'll gain more information about all of these areas and what you'll be studying in them by viewing our arts orientation webinar recordings that we offered last September. You were given the links in an email earlier this week to these webinar recordings. They're also available on our YouTube channel, and the link to that is being posted for you right now in the chat. In the sessions, our professors provided valuable insight into the introductory courses you could take, possible career paths you could follow, and more. So what we study in the Faculty of Arts, so you can see, and as was indicated earlier, there's quite a few areas that you can study when you're in the Faculty of Arts. You don't follow one prescribed curriculum as you make your way through. You choose what you want to do. So on this slide, you'll see all of the areas of study we offer for your major or for your minor. And it's a good reminder of all of the choices that are available to you. You may already have an idea of what you'd like to focus on, or you may not. Perhaps you've registered in a variety of courses from different areas to help you choose your future major, and that's okay too. Many students decide what to major in after their first year of study. You also know that your classes this term will be conducted remotely. Your fellow students today are going to share some tips with you on how to successfully navigate your way through your first term in the Faculty of Arts. I'd like to reassure you that even while you are remote, and we're studying remotely, you'll still have access to professors and academic advisors who will be there to help guide you along the way. And you'll have the opportunity to be part of activities that will allow you to experience your university education in a unique way. Well, in this environment, we're all learning as we go along, and our instructors and staff are all dedicated to providing you, our students, with a top quality education and experience. Well, at the end of your time with us, when you do earn your arts degree, you'll be equipped to pursue a wide variety of exciting and challenging careers in today's changing world. Arts degree holders are in demand. Here, we show you just a handful of occupations that may fit you and that you could do with an arts degree and some related work experience. Or you may find that you'd like to continue your studies. Many students start with arts and use what they learn here in arts as a basis for a specialized degree, such as in law or education. Or they may go on to a master's degree in an area that you've studied as an undergraduate, and even onto a Ph.D. where you're specialized in a particular area, like I am with a Ph.D. in history, and then can teach in university or do a variety of other things. So throughout Welcome Day today, you'll hear from many students who will share their experiences and stories with you. I encourage you to listen to them. They were in your position not too long ago and have valuable tips to share. So good luck to you all this term. And I'd like to pass things back to Mina, who I believe has a poll for you.
Thank you, Dean Tiller. Dean Tiller reminded us of the many areas of study in the Faculty of Arts. So now we'd like to hear from you. Have you chosen a major yet, or do you know what you would like to pursue in the future? So please answer that question on your screen now, and we'll take a look at the results. So I have the results in front of me. Wow, I see a lot of people voted economics, 33%. That's perfect. 11% in psychology. So that's impressive. I see a lot of people who have not chosen any of the above, which is okay too. So perfect. So now I'm going to pass the mic to Efwa now, who will introduce you to the Arts Student Body Council, our student governance body who represents you, the arts students.
Okay, thank you, Mina. Hi, everyone. My name is Efwa, and I am the president of the Arts Student Body Council and also a Faculty of Arts ambassador. I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself, and I will also tell you a little bit about ASBC. So I'm currently in my 4th and final year. So this semester is my final semester, so that's exciting. And I am a sociology major minoring in political studies. I graduated from Fort Richmond Collegiate. I don't know if we have any students from that high school, but I graduated in 2017. I've been a part of student government and just overall volunteering on campus for basically the entirety of my degree. I started out sitting on ASBC's participatory budgeting committee in my first year, and then I later on ran for Arts Science Director, went on to Vice President, and now I'm the President. And I can say that throughout my time being involved in student government, it's a breath of fresh air to just step away from your schoolwork and do something that fulfilling. So you're probably wondering, who is ASBC? What do we do? So the Arts Student Body Council represents all undergraduate students here at the University of Manitoba. We offer services such as lockers, student group funding, space for students to come together, and we organize academic and social events. We serve as your student representatives in decision-making bodies in the Faculty of Arts, the University of Manitoba, and the University of Manitoba Students' Union. So obviously, due to the pandemic, a lot of our in-person services have been put on hold. However, we are still going strong when it comes to advocacy online, and also creating events that will still cater to the student body regardless of I guess, the distance of where we are. So we have adjusted our services we offer, as I mentioned. And one thing that we have is a Discord Arts Lounge. We will be sending out a welcome email, which would include the link. And you can also find the link on our Instagram. So it's a virtual arts lounge, and it's an amazing way to connect with various students from various communities within our faculty. Another thing about the Arts and Body Council is that if you want to keep up with us, if you want to know what we're up to, we send updates to students via email, and we also post them on our social media. And so it is important to keep up with our social media posts and emails, since we tend to send out and post very valuable information regarding student life. As for upcoming events we have this winter, we have a Winter Student Group Fair that's coming up January 22nd at 12 p.m. On Zoom. An invite link will be sent out in a welcome email that will be going out quite shortly. So we ask that you keep an eye out for that. If you have any questions, if you have any concerns regarding student life, regarding being a student within the faculty, feel free to reach out to us on any of our platforms, and we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. So I will now pass it over to Nina.
Now the rest of us will introduce ourselves. Along with EFWA, we are your arts student ambassadors, and we are here to help. So my name is Mina Ragab, and I'm a third-year student in the Faculty of Arts, currently completing a major in psychology. I attended the Vincent Massey Collegiate. I don't know if you guys or any of you have been to it, and I graduated from it in 2018. And I'm looking forward to meeting new people and having a successful year ahead. Thank you.
Hi everyone, as I mentioned, I'm Devjot Garwal. I'm in my 4th year of a sociology advanced degree and minoring in family studies. I went to FRC. Me and EFWA graduated in the same year. And a little fun fact about me is I've lived in 3 different countries. I love to travel, which we can't do right now, but hopefully soon we can get back to that.
Hi everyone, my name is Lara Ojabitz, and I'm currently in my 3rd year in Faculty of Arts. I am doing an advanced degree with a double major in linguistics and English, and I'm actually an international student. I come from Kyiv, which is the capital of Ukraine. And a fun fact about me is that I'm currently serving as the president of the Alpha Gamma Delta sorority. But enough about me, let's talk about you guys. So now let's take a moment to do another poll and learn a little bit more about you. And since this term is currently remote, we want to know, where are you going to be studying? All right. Oh, wow. Okay, we have our results now. Wow. So 57% are outside of Canada and 43% are in Winnipeg. Cool, so am I. Nice, and no one is in Manitoba but not in Winnipeg, and just in Canada but outside Manitoba. Really interesting. Thank you guys. All right, it's time to move on to the next part of our discussion today, and that is what to expect when classes start on Monday. So I'm going to pass it on to Div.
Well, the first thing is it's a reality check. Just one thing that you can guarantee is that it's not high school anymore. And now that you're 100% in control of your time. No one's monitoring you, not sending any updates to you or your parents. Well, to you, but not your parents anymore. And your time management is really up to you. You'll need to plan your time out, plan your classes in advance, and plan your degree especially. There are people who can help you, but you're the one that needs to initiate it first. And the stark reality that many students are not ready for this is a deadline is a deadline. It's not like in high school where you can ask your teacher that, oh, can I get another one day? Like here in university, there's really no extensions, no changes. Just hand in your stuff on time. Again, that plays, time management plays a huge role in that. We're already showing you the programs we have to study. You have so many options for what to take. It's actually very crazy. There are plenty of student groups, trips, and theater program learning, language programs, student conferences, student contests, volunteer opportunities, and even student job opportunities that are available for you. You have to open them up and take advantage of them. You have to be the one that need to again initiate all of these options that are available for you. So what to expect this term? Your experience at school this term is going to look more like the photo on the left, which you can see one of our lovely ambassadors is in, Efwa, rather than one on right, where we would be together at the university celebrating Welcome Back Week. But we're hoping we'll be back on campus soon. But in the meanwhile, we have some tips for you to share to help you get through this term.
Okay, so the first tip is advanced preparation. I like to think that advanced preparation is the, I want to say, foundation of your university career. Since you're going to be given a syllabus at the beginning of the year, obviously this year it's going to look different. It's going to be uploaded onto UMLearn. The syllabus is going to be your best friend throughout the entirety of your university career. I know that when I started, I was like, oh, just a piece of paper with a bunch of due dates, but it is an important piece of paper with a bunch of important due dates. So make sure to go through all of your important dates, highlight them, mark down all the deadline dates, and complete all your assigned readings and chapters well in advance.
So the second tip is attentive participation. So take notes even during your virtual class. Remember to not use or write down word by word what the prof says, but rather capture the main points and the important points only. This way, it will simplify your notes. Second point is to turn off your phones or limit all distractions. That way you can only focus on your online studies and the class. And then the third point is to earn your participation marks. This can be completed through breakout rooms, which are on Zoom or Cisco WebEx, through polls, through chats, asking or answering questions, or presenting. And these are participation marks that the prof gives you to participate in the class.
The next tip is for active review. I think it's very important to be reviewing all the material that's been given to you. You'll realize that in university, the amount of material that's given to you before a test is a lot. So it's very important to ask any questions you have for your professors. Your professors are there for you to get help from, and most likely if a question that you have, a classmate will also have that question. So don't shy away and ask any questions you have, or if you don't feel comfortable asking them right away, go and email them after class. And then also another thing I personally do is I rewrite my notes and I go through and find things that I don't understand and try and get more information. And I do that by like researching online to be able to build on my notes. And another thing is to self-test. So if there's practice quizzes that your professors has provided you, or you can create one for yourself to just test how much knowledge you have of the material, and just see what you need to improve on and what you know well, and go from there.
And the next tip is to begin now. Make sure you attend your classes. Please do not skip your classes. They're important. You're gonna learn a ton of new information. Like, most of the active learning is happening inside of the classroom. And as Mina mentioned, a lot of arts classes actually have participation as part of your grade, up to 15 or sometimes 20%. So it is important that you attend and show up with your camera on, like, be prepared. Don't just join class from your bed, because that's going to impact your learning. You wouldn't come in your pajamas and sleeping to your in-person class, so don't do that online. Next tip is to begin working on things early. Please, it is important. University assignments and essays that you'll have to write are a lot more difficult than what you have done in high school. So it is important to devote enough time and make sure that you get that grade that you deserve. And the final tip is to create a study schedule. And that's something we're going to talk about in a little bit more detail on the next slide. So here's what one could look like. This is the study schedule template that's recommended by the Academic Learning Center. Please check them out. They offer a lot of cool stuff. Make sure that you put things in, like your actual class time and time that you devote to viewing asynchronous parts of your classes. Just doing your homework, time with friends and family, time for 3 meals in a day. And even some people like scheduling their sleep time, because it is important to get at least 6 hours of sleep per day to be able to function properly. And did you guys know that it is recommended to spend twice as much time studying on your own as you spend in class? So basically, for 1 hour of class, you should study outside of class for 2 hours. It is really important to consider that, to make sure that you succeed, and schedule that in. And from experience, I know it sounds like a lot, but actually you'll really benefit from that in the long run. And please build a schedule that works for you, and design it in the way that you want. Make it look appealing. That's something that you care about. Yeah, everyone's schedule is going to look different, but make sure that yours works for you, that you actually follow it. And please prioritize school and studying. And I'm going to pass it on to Mina for another poll.
So time for another poll. What do you do on your break time? For me, I like to work out. It gives me an adrenaline rush and boosts my focus to study more. And I like to read a book. So please answer the question on your screen now, and we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so I'm gonna view the results. So it's impressive. 48% they go for a walk or a jog, and another 48% they exercise and work out. That's perfect. I find that refreshing for you, like after you study, after your brain is drained from studying, you go for a walk or workout. It gets you focusing more. And then others voted they bake something. They watch Netflix, they Snapchat with friends, all of the above, which are creative things. I personally do that sometimes. Yeah.
So now we're going to look at what remote learning is going to look like in arts this year. Obviously, because of COVID, we're online, and it's a huge change for people that haven't done that before. So as I mentioned, all courses in arts are going to be taught remotely this year. Remote learning courses are all accessible through Learn, which hopefully you've gotten some information on. It's a learning management system that the University of Manitoba uses. You should be receiving an email from your arts instructor providing you with a Zoom or WebEx link for your very first class in each subject that you're in. If you haven't, you can also look in Learn in the course overview section, and it has all the information you need for your classes. It's one of the very important platforms of being on the universities. That's where everything is that you need. Your syllabus, your course material, everything you need, it's there. To prepare for classes, we encourage you to prep your work study area. I know it's very important because obviously we don't have that. We're not going into a class now. It's very important to have a work study area that is there for you so you can study, that you won't get distracted in. Get your headphones ready, your camera, your laptop, because those are going to be very important factors in your studies this year, at least for this semester. And have enough space that you can put everything out. I think it's important to have your huge space so you can just study and have as much space you need to be able to look at all your material that you have. You should expect there to be a mix of live classes and recorded lectures that you can go back and review. Professors post them on Learn again, and some supplementary videos and readings that you have to do in your own time. Thus, it's very important to time manage and have that timetable set up so it helps you to be able to organize your day, that you have some space for your own personal stuff to do. And the testing will also be online. This includes multiple choices, calculations, short answers, essay. That's all going to be tested on the paper. It's going to be online. Your instructor will provide you with more information when it gets that time, and they'll tell you how they're going to be doing the testing. Each year on Welcome Day, we encourage students to get to know their instructors. I think that's one important thing that I really didn't do my first year, and I think it's very important to do that. You asking questions for professors, let them know who you are. It really helps you get engaged with them. And you can still do this things remotely, even though we don't have the typical offices that you can just go into. You still have most professors. I know my professor last semester held an online Zoom hours, so each of your professors will tell you the most convenient way to reach out to them. Emails is another huge way of getting in touch with the professors, but make sure even if you email them at 2 a.m. or midnight, you're most likely on
Div is just frozen up on us. Efwa, can you maybe take over for that part of the slide until we get Div back, please?
Hours, so you don't need to keep everyone told the day before exam, because that's not going to really help you. If you have questions during a class, make sure you're answering the question right away, asking the question right away. Sorry, can you guys hear me now? I know I froze for a bit.
Yes,
okay.
You're back. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I was gonna say, ask as many questions as you have for professors. Ask them before exam. Don't ask them the day before exams, but throughout your classes, so that you're able to get that information. Also, connect with your your classmates. I think they're a huge way of getting information, and they most likely have some answers to questions that you have, and vice versa. There's a lot of classes tend to have their group chats where you can ask them questions, and I think it's important to join that, especially because we're doing it remotely, so it's not as easy to connect. But most classes tend to have group chats that your own fellow students create, so just get in touch with them. Obviously your professors have different levels of technology, the comfort with technology, so just don't be like shy, or don't be scared if one uses too much and the other doesn't. It's just, you'll get all the information that you need throughout your classes. They're going to make sure that you don't miss out on any studying material that you need. Also, and one very important thing that you need to make sure that you do is to use your Manitoba email rather than any other personal emails. If you send them an email through Gmail, Hotmail, they're not going to respond back to you. It's most likely going to go into their junk folder, which they're not likely to check often, and they won't just respond back to you. And that's not just with your instructor, but any resources that are available on university. You need to make sure you're using your university emails, and make sure you're checking them throughout the week. I have the app downloaded, which I just recently did, and I think it's amazing because you just have it on your phone and you can open it up anytime, and it's so convenient. And just make sure you're checking it like at least like in a few days, or I would say just every day, like for one time. It doesn't take that much time to do it. And one final thing I want to mention is that everybody needs support, especially with everything being online. Remote learning I know it has caused a lot of it's caused a lot of anxiety for a lot of people, and at university there's so many options that can help people that can help you, whether that be you joining a student group or asking your professors to using the services that are available at the university, such as the counseling, the spiritual and health and mental health services center. They're there. Even though we're not in person, they're still there. They're available for you, and make sure you're using that. And I know we're putting a link in for the student support webpage in the chat right now. So make sure you're using those resources if you need it. I think that's very important with everything being online this year. I think it's going to be a huge change, and just know that there's somebody there to support you. You reach out, whether that be also your family member, just let them know that, hey, I'm studying at home and I need you guys to just support me with letting me study for a bit. And especially if it's loud, just ask them, just give me like an hour just to be able to go through my class, and then we can chat as much as we want. So yeah, there's so many people wanting to help you. So please reach out, and you'll find someone who you can connect you to the right person. You can even message us on ASBC or the Faculty of Arts, and they can help guide you as well to go somewhere that can provide you supports. I'm going to pass you on to Mina now.
Okay, so the Academic Learning Center provides a number of different supports and services to students. They offer over 100 workshops each year for students. Many of these are for new students, so I'd encourage you to go and check it out. The ALC's most popular service is one-to-one tutoring for writing, for studying skills and content in select courses like psychology, anthropology, sociology, stats, or math. The ALC has identified some of the historically toughest classes on campus and offers free weekly review sessions for them. These are sometimes offered for classes like Stats 1000 or Economic 1010 and 1020. They are called supplemental instruction. So these voluntary sessions offer students an opportunity to ask questions about a course. They can compare notes, they can discuss course content, they can solve practice problems and develop study strategies. Students who attend these, they say that they get a better understanding of course content, they get a better grade, and they might also learn some useful study strategies for future courses. If this is offered for one of your courses, your instructor will let you know, or you can check the ALC webpage for more information. For those who prefer to do it on their own, the ALC website has tip sheets and videos like how to create an outline, how to develop a strong thesis statement for an essay, how to write a great title, how to paraphrase, etc. They have links to citation guides for 7 styles of writing, and there are tips for how to take a multiple choice exam or how to write an essay exam. If you are new to the English language, they have supports and resources for that too. In addition, an extra bonus from the ALC is that all of their services are free for UM students. So you may be sitting there thinking, I'm a top student, I don't need study skills or writing help. But I can tell you for sure that many top students have benefited from these services. For example, an example I could give is my sister, who's currently completing a medicine degree. She used their services for an essay that she had to write in her undergraduate, and she ended up with an A+. She used her tutor's recommendations and suggestions for improvement, and yeah, so she ended up with an A+. So online writing tutoring is another popular service with about 70 submissions per month, where a tutor can review your paper before you hand it in. There are a few benefits to this. Not only do you get a paper reviewed and get errors identified and improvement suggestions before you hand it in, but also by booking a tutor review in advance of the class deadline, it forces you to finish your paper ahead of time. So it's basically like a deadline before a deadline. And then you still have time to make the fixes and review on your own before you hand it in to your prof. So we're putting the link to the Academic Learning Center homepage in the chat right now. And I'll pass it back to Efwa.
Okay, so after all this, you still have questions you can't find the answer to. You can connect with an arts academic advisor. So arts academic advisors typically help you, as you can see on your screen, course selection, registration assistance, planning your degree, picking a major, and finding co-curricular activities that suit you. So you can email or call the number on your screen. If you have any quick questions, they will respond by email. And if your questions are a bit more complex, a bit more complicated, the advisors will book an appointment with you to discuss it. One thing that I will say is just based on my experience, I know in my first year, I didn't know what an advisor was. I didn't think I felt the need to go see them. I kind of just picked courses at random and then went and saw an advisor like at the end of the winter semester of my first year. And she's like, okay, so you're on the right track. I was like, what? But I know I have friends who haven't been so lucky and people who found out so late that they need a prerequisite, or, you know, they miss some important component in completing their degree. You don't want to be that person who is delayed for a really a minor detail. It's not fun. So I will encourage you to see an arts academic advisor as early as you can in your degree, and also make it a habit. So there are so many rules and procedures at the university. So if there's something you do not understand, please go and ask. It's really, really important, especially in your first year. It can be overwhelming. And so this is a different kind of play zone as compared to high school. So it is important that if you have any questions, if you don't understand anything, you go ask. Advisors also connect you with other resources on campus that can help you. I know that I wanted to switch majors. I started out with one major and switched to another major. And so before I made that decision, the faculty advisor that I was assigned to helped me by referring me to a department head who was able to, you know, give me a more detailed overview of, you know, what to expect if I were to switch my major into, you know, what I wanted to. And connecting with an advisor is absolutely voluntary. It is not like required, you're not mandated to do it. However, it is up to you to ask questions to stay on top of your degree throughout your degree, because changes are made as you go through your degree. A course that maybe in your first year was a prerequisite might not be a prerequisite in your third year, right? And you're probably waiting to take that. So it's nice to keep up to date with all the different changes that are being made throughout your degree. I will pass it over to Zlata.
All right, and now it's time to talk about opportunities beyond the classroom. So it may seem like things outside a classroom are less important, but I just want to assure you that really they're just as important as the learning that's happening inside the classroom. So the University of Manitoba and the Faculty of Arts in particular offers a wide range of opportunities that can really be crucial to your personal development and your career. We have travel programs that allow you to travel to over 40 countries all around the world, which is so exciting. Unfortunately, right now, they're not working, but hopefully by the end of your degree or the next couple of years, they're going to be available again, where we're all able to socialize and travel and explore the world. We also have what is called field study classes in arts, which are really cool. They're usually offered during the summer term. And what's special about them that most of the learning is happening outside of typical classroom. So it could be something like a community garden or a cooking lab or an archaeological dig. So be on the lookout for these types of courses. They're really exciting, and I'm sure that you're going to benefit a lot from taking one, even if you just take it as an elective. We also have what's called experiential education, which is basically volunteer opportunities. You will hear about programs like Alternative Reading Week and community service projects, and they're really fun. People benefit a ton from them. And also, another opportunity that may be something that you're interested in is becoming an arts ambassador, just like all of us. And something that a lot of you might not realize is that the Faculty of Arts actually has a co-op program for some of the different degrees that are offered, not all of them, but if you're considering some degree options, be sure to check out what different majors allow you to do a co-op program in arts. If you're interested in that, please go to our website and read more about it. I believe a link to the co-op programs in arts is going to be placed in the chat very soon. Here it is. Please check it out. Again, co-op opportunities are so amazing. You get this very hands-on experience that may prepare you to your job so well. And finally, my favorite opportunity is doing undergraduate research. Something that you, again, might not realize is that research opportunities are not only available to grad students, but you can do a lot of research as an undergrad. The Faculty of Arts offers a wide range of opportunities. Some of them are paid, some of them are unpaid, but the experience is so important nonetheless. Some of them are during the school year and some of them take place over the summer. The one research opportunity that I would like to talk about in a little bit more detail is the Undergraduate Research Award, also known as the URA. And it's something that allows you to work with a professor for 4 months, basically the entire summer. It's a paid opportunity, so basically like a job, and you get to experience research with a professor of your choice in the field of your choice and the topic of your choice, which just is so incredible. I had the amazing experience of doing research in linguistics this past summer, and it opened the doors to so many wonderful opportunities. Because of my undergraduate research award, I got to connect with the graduate students that my prof supervises, and we created what is still ongoing, and it's called a reading group, where we meet every single week and discuss different papers, and it's so exciting, and each of us gets to present one. It's incredible, and I'm learning so much, and I'm so grateful. And I know that if it weren't for the URA, that wouldn't have happened. And I know that, you know, the URA is very, like, a very individual experience. So everyone gets to experience something different. Another thing that helped, like, I don't know, the URA helped me do is I was able to present my research at the Algonquian conference, which was so incredible, and I got to interact with a lot of professionals in the field, and I'm currently working on a paper that I hope could be published. So it's something that I would not have imagined to be possible in my first year, and now I'm getting to, in my third year, I'm just getting to do all these amazing things, all thanks to the URA. So I highly recommend all these opportunities. Please check them out. And another opportunity that's a little bit different, more of not academic, but more social, but so important nonetheless, especially right now because we're all in remote learning mode, and it's a lot more difficult to connect with your classmates. It's not like you can really talk before or after class. So I really recommend checking out the art student groups, especially the ones that are from your field of study or the field that you're considering. It's an incredible way to make friends and also get to hear from senior students about their experiences and the classes they recommend taking. And it's just so incredible for socializing and also for learning outside of the classroom. Again, I myself am part of the EFTSA student group, which is the English Film and Theater Students Association. We have a ton of interesting events like movie nights, and we have speaker series with professors coming in and sharing their experiences about graduate school or how to apply for a scholarship and things like that. I'm also part of the Linguistic-ish student group. It's a really funny name. We linguists like to play around with words. ISH actually stands for Integrated Student Hub. And we also do a ton of exciting events. And we recently had an event with master's students and PhD students presenting their experiences. And it was so insightful. I felt like I learned so much. So yeah, highly recommend checking out all of these groups. And I believe a link was just placed in the chat to all of them. Be sure to follow them on social media. I'm sure all of them are on Instagram, so feel free to DM the page or comment on something, and I'm sure they would love to have you. All right, we're gonna move on to our next part, which is tips for our first year selves, and I'm gonna pass it on to Efwa.
Okay, thank you, Zlata. So we're going to be giving you some, I guess, valuable advice from our perspective. If we could go back in time and put ourselves in the seat and visit ourselves on the first day of university, what is the most important advice we would give to ourselves? So I'm going to start off. My advice is that getting your degree isn't a race with anyone, right? So take it as at your own pace, and it is absolutely okay if things do not go as planned. I had a whole 4-year plan. I was like, I'm gonna do this, do that, and then halfway did a complete 360, and I was like, nope, scratch that. And so your degree is an individual journey, so do not be too influenced by other people. Take it at your own pace in order to, make the most of your time at the university. I will pass it over to Mina.
So an advice that I would tell my first year self would be to manage my time properly. I remember spending too much time on my phone and getting distracted and not getting things done. And I'm sure many of you would be tempted to do so as well. So keep that in mind. Try to hide it somewhere, put it under your bed and forget about it for the rest of the day if you want. That would be great. That's what I do right now. Another advice is to try to incorporate a healthy and active lifestyle. You may want to work out if you want, read a book, knit in your free time, just to prevent slacking or boredom. So keep being busy as much as possible so that you don't procrastinate more. And I'll pass it back to Zlata.
So the advice I would give my first year self is to get more involved. Believe it or not, in my first year, I was just so focused on my studies and I wasn't able to look outside of it. And all of my communications were limited to just people I saw in my class. And in my second year, I realized that actually joining student groups can be so beneficial for your social life, but also for your university experience at large. And right now, I'm so grateful to have connected with those people, because I always Zoom in, even during the holidays. I talk to my friends from all the student clubs, and it's incredible. I love it so much. So please be brave, go make that first step, and I'm sure you will end up so happy that you've connected with more people through student clubs and organizations. And I'm gonna pass it over to our wonderful Deb.
Thank you. I totally agree with Zlata. I think it's very important to get involved, especially because I sing. My first year, I did not do anything. It was like the school and home, and that's pretty much it. And once I started getting involved, it opened so many opportunities for me. You don't realize how getting involved in a certain group opens so many doors for you. And I think it's very important to do that and get to meet amazing people. Another thing I would say is make sure you're reaching out to academic advisor. I think we mentioned that. I know some students don't end up doing that until their last year of university. And by then it's kind of like, it's time crunch, and some students end up having to do another semester because they haven't gotten some requirements. So my first year as well, I didn't reach out to that academic advisor. But once I did, in my second year, they were able to guide me so much, told me what were prerequisites I had to take and where I was with my degree. And it really does help you. I would suggest once a semester is a good, good way of reaching out to academic advisors to see where you're at with your degree. So now we're going to go into some important reminders that we have for you today. The Faculty of Arts webpage is where you can find more information about specific departments and programs and their contact information. Or when you get ready to contact an academic advisor but can't remember the email to use, it's also here. Or if you're ready to look into applying for travel study or co-op programs, or you want to see what scholarships are available for you, it's also here. This page is very important and has basically everything that you need there. Anybody you need to contact, any information that you want regarding the faculty will be there. You're gonna also want to follow us on our social media to get to know your faculty a bit more. You can follow us now, or take a screenshot of this slide, or you can go back to it later. During the term, we'll be posting highlights about Faculty of Arts. We'll tell you about the amazing research being conducted by professors and students, and let you know about any research opportunities that are available for you. We'll share posts about writing workshops, contests, and talks by employers, by alumni, and even job opportunities that are available for you. We'll post tips at key times of the year, such as exam time, midterms, and during career months. We'll share stories about current students and alumni to help you give you some ideas about majors to choose or career options that are available for you, and even more information. And we always use social media to remind you about key dates like deadlines or drop and add courses. The amount of time I use the Instagram to figure out, today is voluntary withdrawal, or this is the last day to drop a class with getting your funds back. It's very helpful. And especially because most of us tend to have social media, so it's just very convenient. There's always something new. The faculty has to tell you every day, basically. So it's important to just be in touch. And I'm going to pass it on to Mina to continue.
Okay, so now for our final last poll of this session, we'd like to ask how you would prefer to get information about and news from your faculty. Please answer the question on your screen, and we'll take a look at the results. Okay, so 26% on the website, 100% by email. Definitely, they all like the Faculty of Arts always sends us emails on your Manitoba or my Manitoba email. So definitely check that every day. Some people mentioned Instagram, so you can check out our Instagram page, which is Arts Faculty. To check more events or information. So yeah, email is definitely what we go by. So next is Commons, and Commons is an online hub for all things first year. You'll find information on how to get your ID card online, links to the Academic Learning Center and tutors. There are career services, libraries, and the student communities and clubs pages. Maybe you're looking to meet other Indigenous students or LGBTQ+ students, or you'd like to know more about support for international students. There are many. Commons is the place you can start. You'll also find lists of academic clubs, health and wellness clubs, social justice and community service clubs, sports and recreation and networking clubs. Besides the arts groups we already showed you, there are well over 100 clubs listed on this page, and they keep adding more. As a first-year student, Commons was built just for you, and we encourage you to take some time and check it out. A link to the Commons page is being added to the chat now. I'll pass it back to Ewurafua.
Okay, so here at the University of Manitoba, we want to build a safe and inclusive campus community where students, professors, and staff are treated with respect. They can feel safe from threat of violence and will be supported if they need it. So much of this has to do with the way we conduct ourselves and the way we treat each other. There is a series of 5 online modules on sexual violence accessible from the Welcome Day webpage, and also in Learn, covering topics such as a discussion of consent and power dynamics, busting common myths about sexual violence, and introducing all of sexual violence supports, including the Sexual Violence Resource Center, which is open for services by phone and email during the campus closure. So we do encourage you all to please work with us to make sure that our university is safe and inclusive for everyone. Okay, so the end goal. We've come to the end of this welcome session. Actually, no, I'm gonna backtrack. Yeah, so the end goal. We all want to end up like this picture eventually, right? You're just starting on this very exciting journey. And this is what we want to look like in 3 to 4, or maybe even 5 years from now. It's going to be filled with a lot of fun. There are going to be a lot of late nights. I guess it's going to be some tears here and there. But your time at the Faculty of Arts is definitely going to be a fulfilling one. It's definitely going to be a fun one. I personally, as I come to the end of my undergrad journey, I can say that it's been very fulfilling. It's been filled with so many exciting opportunities, so many exciting courses that I've taken or had the opportunity to take. And I just hope that you all, get to have that amazing experience also. So once again, we'd like to welcome you to the Faculty of Arts. We do hope that you make the most of your time here, and we hope that you love it here as much as we do. So now we will open it up for questions.
Okay, everyone. Thanks to our ambassadors for sharing all of their advice and tips. We're going to open it up now for questions. As mentioned at the beginning of the session, we're going to ask you to please use the Q&A function in the Zoom menu. If you click on that little button, you'll be able to type in your questions there. And as questions start to come in, I'm going to remind everyone that the presenters were going to be focusing on answering questions around today's session topic, so related to the Faculty of Arts. If your questions pertain to things outside of today's topics, we recommend that you search them on umanitoba.ca. As you've learned, there's a lot of resources and information on the website. We've shared so many links with you today. There's also plenty of other information. That website is going to be a godsend for you. It's always a good place to start when you have general questions. You can use the search function on the website, or you can use the Ask U Manitoba button that they have on the pages to type in your questions, and then you can get an online response using that feature. For example, there's dedicated offices at the university for the International Center, for Student Life, and the First Year Center that can answer questions directly related to those areas. So let's take a look at what we have in the Q&A box right now. We've answered a few things throughout the presentation for a couple questions that came in, but let's take a look and see what we've got. So we had one question that said the course outline, it wasn't given with some of the course information that they had so far. Where could they find that on the courses that they've registered in? So to answer that one, we've mentioned throughout the presentation, you can find that either in Learn. That's likely where you're going to find it in the four-year course. Sometimes the instructor may send it to you and provide it to you during the first class and go through it. They're likely going to go through it with you during the first class. And then if you have any questions about that, about the deadlines, it'll talk about the books you need, the readings, it'll talk about how they're distributing the marks for the course, those kinds of things. If you have any questions about that afterwards, you can go and ask your instructor directly related to that. Folks, is there anything else that I've missed? Is there anywhere else that you might see a course outline, a course syllabus besides in Learn?
I know that with my classes so far in the fall semester, a lot of profs have also been emailing it to students. So you could check your email to see if they've sent it there.
Beautiful, great. So that works out nicely. So there's a few different options, check them all. If you don't have it yet, you should have them by Monday, okay? The next question is, asks about distance ed courses. And asks if the live classes are recorded. So for those who maybe aren't able to take classes live during the day because you're working or have other responsibilities, asking about is everything recorded? So there's a couple different ways we can look at this question. For a lot of classes, you will, on the first day or in the syllabus, the instructor will explain whether or not, how much is going to be done live, whether they're recording their sessions for playback later or not, or whether they're going to be doing some things live, some things recorded, or all things recorded. So it's a little different for each class and how each instructor decides to run that class. For distance ed courses, it's a little different. If a course is classified as distance ed, you will find that primarily most of the information is provided either in recordings or in supplemental videos and things like that, and readings. And then sometimes they might have, and Zlata's nodding her head here, so maybe she can help me out too. Sometimes a distance ed course might have, say, once a week you get together and do something, and the instructor is available live, or they might just say, okay, everything is on your own time, and then they have, say, a call once a week or a live session once a week, where it's just asking questions, reviewing, giving you the opportunity to connect with that instructor. So Zlata, do you have anything else to add to that one? Have you taken a distance ed course before you can share?
Yes, I have actually. My first time was during the summer. I just wanted to kind of stress on the fact that distance education and remote learning are two different things. So if a class is listed as distance education, that means that it's probably not probably, but it will not require you to attend classes on Zoom. Probably the prof could like hold office hours and things like that, but they're all optional. And the idea behind distance ed courses that you complete them on like at your own pace at the times of the day that you're available. And don't worry too much if you're working and taking classes, even remote learning classes, because sometimes the times that are listed on Aurora are not going to exactly match the live sessions. To kind of explain what I mean, for instance, there's a class that's Monday, Wednesday, Friday. The professor may say in the syllabus that we're only meeting on Wednesdays, and on Mondays and Fridays, your task is to view the pre-recorded lecture. So basically, you're only required to come to class on Wednesday, and everything else you kind of do at your own pace. And if that still doesn't work for you, make sure you talk to the professor ahead of time, and I'm sure they would be understanding and they'll appreciate you reaching out in advance.
Thank you, Zlata. The next one we have is, we talked a bit about the Undergraduate Research Award and promoted the benefits of that. So the question was, how many URAs are awarded each year? So the answer to that is a little bit different because it can be different each year. The URA is a program that's available across the entire university. There's a couple hundred that are offered out across that whole thing. Arts, this year, there's more than 50 of them that were posted as available opportunities. But again, not all the posted opportunities are all the opportunities that are there. And if you go to the URA's webpage and you check our social media, we do explain a little bit more about that. So sometimes there are the posted opportunities, but some professors don't post, but you might ask them, say, hey, are you hiring research students this summer? Maybe they have funding outside of the URA program that provides them the opportunity to provide students with a paid opportunity, paid research session. Sometimes professors might take a student on as a volunteer opportunity if they don't have extra funding. So the URA is one way to get a research position, but not the only way. So the biggest thing is, if you're interested in that you talk to your professors about that. For you guys just starting out, the best time to consider approaching professors for research positions is once you have a couple terms under your belt, you've got a few courses under your belt, you've taken the introductory courses. Because they are competitive, research positions are competitive, they tend to look for students who have higher marks, but not only, but also students who have taken at least the introductory courses and are starting to get into the second and third year level courses for their major, and they can see that they are particularly interested in that area of study. So I hope that answers that question. Okay, so this one's for you guys as ambassadors, and we've talked about it a bit, about student groups. We've talked about the joining Discord and things like that, but specifically, maybe you guys can give us some tips on how we can meet other art students online since we are remote. So how do I connect in Discord? How should I reach out to a student group right now? Those kinds of things. So Efwa, maybe you can start for us.
Yeah, for sure. So as I mentioned, the Arts Student Body Council has a virtual arts lounge Discord server. I know that it's been a huge success. A lot of students have been able to connect with other students on there. We are in the process of kind of revamping it for the winter term and kind of loading it with more exciting ways to meet new students. So that's been kind of the primary form that we've been using for ASBC. If you keep up with our social media and our email, we do advertise events that the different student groups within our faculty has. We do have a pretty good working relationship with all those different student groups. So we post their stuff online, we link their Instagram pages on our Instagram page, we tag them so you can use that, you know, and text or DM them on Instagram to, you know, get to know them, get to join their group. Also, I know some classes tend to have student group chats, and I was in a student group chat last semester where we all kind of just didn't really know each other. Well, we kind of, some of us sort of had taken a bunch of sociology courses over the years together. However, we were still, a large portion of us were kind of strangers to each other. And by the end of the term, we were all practically like best friends. So that's like another way, you know, using schoolwork as kind of like a way to connect, but also forming friendships at the end of the semester. And it kind of just comes naturally, honestly, because I remember being in my first year and that being in person, thinking, how am I going to make friends? Like, am I just going to cling on to my high school friends? But as you go through your career and as your university career and as you like meet students, especially in class, you know, it kind of just comes naturally. So that's also another great way to meet students online.
What can you add for us if a student's interested in getting involved with ASBC or student government? How should they reach out to you guys?
Okay, yeah. So we have some first year. We had a first year engagement committee, but due to COVID, we kind of had to reshuffle here and there. But a great way is we tend to have committees where we ask students at large. So basically the student body that don't sit on our council, we ask them to join, because I know that's how I joined. We constantly send updates, so you could look out for that. We do have elections coming up in March. So this year, we're really going to encourage a lot of people to run in elections. It can seem a bit daunting, but trust me, once you're in it, it's just, you kind of just, it's a fun process. So we will be doing we're going to try to do virtual class talks. We're going to be sending out emails. We're going to be posting updates. We're going to be talking to current counselors who have sat on ASBC. We have a lot of first year counselors, like a lot of like new counselors this time around. So they will be sharing their experiences. So if you want to run in elections, just keep an eye out for the dates. If you want to sit on a committee, just keep an eye out for the dates also. And so the primary place to look out for or to look out is Instagram. That's where we tend to post a majority of our stuff, because I know a lot of students won't sit through and read like a wordy email. So we like to post fun graphics that will catch your eye with the important details all on our Instagram. I hope that helps.
Very much. Thank you, Efwa. Cecile, I'm going to pass this next one to you. So this student mentioned that they don't seem to be able to access their course in Learn yet, that they're registered in for winter 2021. And who can they reach out to for help with that, to make sure that they've got everything they need in Learn and everything's set up properly?
Yeah, I would have to do a little bit of research on that one myself. I'll do a little bit of research on that and then answer that question in the chat.
Hi, Amber.
Unless somebody else knows. Nina?
Yeah. I think Amber's talking, but she's muted.
Okay. Go ahead, Nina, if you want to answer that one.
Yeah, go ahead, Nina. Sorry, I was muted. Yeah.
Oh, no worries. I think for me, courses in Learn, they don't open until January 17th at 12 a.m. So on Sunday, 12 a.m., you can go on Learn and open they'll be there open.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I didn't realize that it was just the day before that they opened them. So there's nothing wrong with if you can't get into them right now because they're not open yet. So yeah, they may still be making some changes and updates and uploading things to the courses in UMlearn up to today. So thank you very much for that. Okay, so here's a question that our students can answer, and maybe we'll check with Div on this one first. Is it too much to register for 5 classes for a new student, for freshmen? How many classes do you guys have as your ideal? And I guess I know it depends on everybody's situation is a little different, depends on what your other responsibilities are. If you're working, if you have to care for family members, things like that, and how much you personally can handle. But what have you seen has been a good thing? 4, 5, 3, 6? What should we go with? What advice can we give? Go ahead, Div.
I really think it's very, as I said, very personal. Like, I think it really depends on how much you have on your plate. If you have work and you're trying to study at the same time, I think 5 courses is quite a lot, but I know there's some that have done that too. So it is very individual. I think it's just to remember that everybody has their own path to their degree and there's no hurry in it. I think it's with me personally, I am on the track team, so I only usually take 4 courses per semester because 5 is a lot usually with practices, but obviously because it's remote learning, we don't have that anymore. I think as I said, I think it really depends on how many courses you are able to handle.
Anybody else want to chime in, or do we all agree? I'm seeing a lot of nodding heads, so that seems to be where we're at. Okay, good. If there's any other questions, then I'm going to ask everybody to type it into the Q&A just before we're done, because we're getting close to the end. We did get one more just coming in as we're chatting here. So yeah, we're almost done, folks. So if you have a burning question that you want to ask, now's the time to do it before we end off today. The last one is, how do you apply for an honors program? Cecile, maybe you can help with that one.
Yeah, I can help with that one. You would need to take a first year, basically, of a certain complement of courses. Of course, taking the introductory course in the department that you want to do the honors program in. And then once that's done and completed and you have the appropriate GPA that's required to enter into the honors program, it would be just a matter of applying through the Student Services office. So hopefully we'll be back up and running and in person by that time that you're applying to honors. So you would just go to the Student Services, the Faculty of Arts Student Services office on the main floor of Fletcher Argue, 134 Fletcher Argue, and you would just fill out the honors application form. I believe that normally starts happening around June before the September that you want to enter. So right now, I believe the way they're handling applications to honors is via email, and there are online forms, I believe. But hopefully by the time you're eligible to apply to honors, you would just go into the Student Services office in Fletcher Argue and apply. It's just a short form, and basically they're just checking to make sure that you've met the pre-qualifying year and the GPA to enter the program.
Excellent. Thank you, Cecile. And as Cecile mentioned, the form is online right now on the Arts Student Resources webpage. So within the Faculty of Arts web pages, we have a bunch of student forms that we've put online there for students. And also, as she mentioned, we had a follow-up question, what's the GPA needed? It depends on the program that you're in, the area of a study that you're in. So again, if you go to the arts web pages and you click on psychology, for example, they will have information within their department area that says what's required for their advanced degree, their honors degree, etc. Sociology and criminology would have the same thing. There will be information there on what the requirements are for which courses you have to have taken, grade levels, etc. So everybody's a little different, so we can't really answer for one specifically, but that all the information's there for each student to be able to figure that out. So good. Okay, another question that we did have come in is there a minimum credit hours one has to take in their first year as a full-time student?
No, there's no minimum. Basically, in order to hold your admission though, like you've been admitted to, say you've been admitted to this term, winter term, 2021, and in order to hold that admission for the year, then you would need to register for at least 3 credit hours. So I guess that's the answer, 3 credit hours at least, just to continue on as a student. Otherwise, the admission would basically be voided, or would be able to be moved to the next session if you wanted to start taking courses, for example, in the summer session. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so minimum 3 credit hours at least.
Yeah, and there are some different requirements depending on if you have a scholarship. Then those might say you have to have a minimum number of credit hours that you're taking to be able to maintain that scholarship, for example, or to be able to apply for different programs. So different things will be listed depending on what you're in. So if you ever had a question about it, something specific, then definitely you could ask to be what is considered to be a full-time student or a part-time student, and in particular for if you're applying for scholarships and bursaries, things like that. So Div has her hand raised.
I guess you just mentioned, I think to be a full-time student, the minimum you're required is 9 credit hours. Yeah. So like 3 courses per semester. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, you're considered a part-time student. So I just wanted to clear that up. I don't know if that's the question I asked.
Yep, that's a good point. Yeah, and I know for some scholarships, they require at least 4. So, even higher than that, again, because it's competitive, right? And they want to make sure that it's there. So it is important to stay on top of that. Thanks, Div, for doing that. Okay. This question is about majors and minors. So this is a transfer student, and what are the requirements to fulfill before you're able to declare a major or minor? So again, it's going to depend on each area of study that you're in, but maybe Cecile, you can help students, point them where they could go, for example, the academic calendar for each area to help them find information about prerequisites and things like that.
Yeah, so generally speaking, in order to declare a major or minor in a particular subject, you would need to have completed at least 6 credit hours of that particular department course. Usually it's the introductory course, or it could be a certain designated course. That Amber's right, that would be found in the academic calendar at the front section of the academic calendar under that particular discipline. Now with transfer credit, that might get a little more trickier, especially if you have some unallocated transfer credit from a certain department, for example, psychology. So you might want to check in with a student advisor or send an email to the Arts Inquiry if you do have the 6 credit hours with the C or better, and it's not letting you declare. You might want to send an email to one of the academic advisors to get some help with that one.
Vlada, you had your hand raised to add something?
Yes, I wanted to add, because the question is, I don't know, they're asking about an English degree, and I know about that, so I can give you the exact answer for what you need to have completed to declare your major. So that would be the either representative literary works course, which is English 100, or the 2 of 1340 and 1400. Plus the additional courses that you take that are outside of your major. You need a certain number as well.
Yeah, so thank you, Zlata. That's excellent. So as mentioned, see, Zlata was able to list what those specific courses are. If there's any other areas that you're looking at that you want to know what is required for that, what courses are listed in that major, that can be found in the University of Manitoba academic calendar off of the U of M's website. For each program, it is very specific that it lists the courses required. It lists what's intro. It gives you kind of an idea of what to take in your first year, second year. It gives you prerequisites of which classes you need to take first and second to fulfill some of those majors. And also sometimes not only to take the course, but what grade you need to get into that course to move on to the next one. So that's very important if you're specifically interested in English or psychology or sociology, to stay on top of that in the academic calendar, and that'll help you with that. You're also going to learn about a program called Achieve, which we talked a lot about today. We've talked about connecting with an academic advisor to help to see where you are in your degree and how you're doing. Achieve is a tool that helps students do that digitally and electronically, so that you can run Achieve and you can stay on top of your degree, see where you're at, see if you fulfilled prerequisite requirements, see if you're missing a course like Efwa said, don't end up in your last term and realize, oh, I didn't take this class, now what do I do? And Achieve can help you to do that as well. So you'll learn about that. It's early, you're just in your first term. You don't need to, worry about running a lot of those things yet, but you'll learn about that as you're going through your degree. So good. I see some participants are raising their hands. Remember, if you have a question, if you could please type it into the Q&A, because throughout this webinar, you're not able to, we have the audio is turned off for participants, so we're not able to turn it on for you to ask your question. So please type it in if you have a question, and we'll wait about 1 more minute, see if any more questions come in before we end off. We're happy to keep answering. Efwa, you have your hand raised as a panelist, so we can, if you have something to add.
Yeah, I was just about to talk about Achieve, and you went ahead and said, talked about it. But yeah, like from my perspective, I remember discovering Achieve and being like absolutely blown away, because honestly, sometimes going to see an academic advisor, the wait time can be a bit tricky, and sometimes it's a very minor question. But Achieve does a great job at breaking everything down, right down to like, what you need, like what you need outside of your major, what you need outside of your minor. It gives you a very nice overview, gives you a cute little pie chart so you know where you're at, tells you how many classes you're in currently, and just your GPA and everything. It's kind of like a one-stop shop. And so if you have, sometimes you have a question and that could be your first point of reference. And then you take, if you have any questions from then on, you go on to an advisor. I just think that from my experience, it just helps that way. So yeah, Achieve should be your absolute best friend throughout your degree. I discovered it. So,
great advice, Efwa. And
yeah.
Haley's put a link to Achieve in the chat for everyone. You can copy that link for yourself. She's also put a link to the academic calendar in there. That's going to take you to the front page of the academic calendar. So those are reference points for you. You can save those for yourselves. And yes, I totally agree, Efwa. Checking Achieve first, running Achieve for yourself first, and before even going to an academic advisor is a good step, because as you do and go through that, that will help you come up with the questions that you might have for the academic advisor if there's something you don't understand in Achieve, or it may answer the question for you and you won't even need to go to that second step of making an appointment. Mina, you have your hand raised as well.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say, for the person who asked about the English degree and where to find it, I found it on the calendar, and just to ease up the research, I can post it on the chat. Is that okay? Okay. So here's the link. You can go there and check out the English degree.
Excellent. Thanks very much, Mina.
No worries.
Okay. So that is all the questions that we have. Our box is empty. Hopefully we've been able to answer everything for you guys today. I want to thank everyone for joining us for our session. In particular, as I mentioned earlier, those who are joining us internationally and maybe are in a strange and big gap time zone. So we really appreciate you joining us today. And I want to thank all of our student presenters and Dean Taylor for joining and sharing their experiences. I'm going to remind everybody to please continue to watch your UManitoba email and your social media for regular information and reminders from your faculty. We wish everyone the best of luck with your first classes next week and throughout the term. And we want to wish you a wonderful day and last couple of days before classes begin and you get into the thick of it. We're going to end the recording now and then we'll end the session. But first, we're going to say goodbye from all of our presenters. Thanks for joining us. And we welcome you, and we're so glad again that you joined and chose the Faculty of Arts for your education. Thank you.